Okay.
All right. So you want to know about the Games Day podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. The Games Day podcast is a weekly live streamed show on the web. We've been doing it for about 3 years now. The very first episode was done in my garage, which is now called Tinderbox Studios because it's made of cardboard and insulated with newspaper.
Nice.
Ian's place has a vault in the basement, so it's called Strongbox Studios. And Matt's place is in the hood, so it's called Boombox Studios because it's breakdancing. So we've been doing the show for 3 years. We live stream it every week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
We talk about gaming news, we talk about kind of retro games, we talk about multiplayer, we kind of have a topic every month that we talk about. We also run a community-driven blog. We're always looking for community members to help us post game news or reviews and things like that. We probably post 5 to 10 news items a week, we try to. And that's kind of about our show. We're doing well in terms of views. Like, it's funny, we have... we're at about 4,000 views a month, which is pretty good for us because we don't really push it outside of this local community. So that's pretty awesome. We're very happy with that. Yeah, so that's kind of the Games Day podcast. We just mainly have a lot of fun doing a show about things that we love.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
How did you, what was your favorite game when you were growing up?
Man, my favorite game when I was growing up.
That you put the most hours into and you liked? Not like a game that you just wanted to finish, but...
Yeah, like you slagged your way through?
Yeah.
You know what? This is kind of silly, but it kind of talks to the stuff that I do for our show now. My favorite game when I was growing up isn't really a game. It's Mario Paint for the Super Nintendo. Which is kind of silly because it's just drawing. Yeah, there's a mouse with a tablet. You just basically draw sprites and things like that, and you can animate them. I used to take issues of Nintendo Power magazine and a magnifying glass and recreate the sprites in the magazine, pixel by pixel on a sheet of graph paper, and then recreate them in Mario Paint. So I could rebuild like the Super Star Wars for the Super Nintendo, or the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and then I would, animate them, the sprites in Mario Paint. So even though it's not a game, that's probably the game that I spent the most time with. In terms of like a game that I spent the most time with, I'd probably say that was Final Fantasy VII. I finished that game, I played it so much that the amount of money that you can get up to like $9 billion or whatever. I actually rolled that upward, and the numbers turned into Japanese characters at that point. All my characters I had 5 of every materia you could get, including Knights of the Round, which was like insanely hard to get. Like, you had to spend like literally hours. Like, I basically kind of broke the game. So that's probably the game that I spent the absolute most time playing when I was a kid. But Mario Paint's probably close second.
That is awesome. And the other question I had is, how have you seen, since your 3 years, seeing the gaming community in London grow since you guys started Games Day podcast?
I think that in terms of how I've seen the gaming community grow in London, I would say tonight's Summer Pwnage #2 is a great example of London's gaming community. You know, when we talk to people about doing a gaming podcast, and they kind of like, really? Who are you going to reach in London? And I say, there's 6 EV games in London, and each one sold 1,000 copies. There's 6 EV games in London, and each one sold 1,000 copies of Black Ops. That's 6,000 people, right? We have about 60 people here tonight. So when I think of like London's gaming community, there's an awful lot of people that you could reach just locally. So events like this where we can have people come out, we can have industry people. The president of Digital Extremes is here tonight. We can have people come out and have people share in games, share in retro games, and meet other people especially. For me, that's win, and it's a testament to London's gaming community. And the stuff that we do, like Summer Pwnage, like episode 100, like live streaming from Dig, all of that stuff that we do every year, we are trying to build a gaming community in London, or bring those people closer. Yeah. And I think Summer Pwnage is a great example of that is starting to work.
All right.